Okay, thank you for joining me. We are going to be playing Warhammer 40,000 Armageddon. We will complete this game completely, and there are branching points in the mission, so there is some replayability of the game. I'll try to say before the beginning and after a mission. That way we can see the branching points, and I'll try to include all the missions here. After we complete this game, we'll move on to the DLC, and then we'll move on to the expansion called the Orcs, where you pretty much fight as the Orcs, whereas in this game you're going to be fighting as the Imperium of Man. This is a Slytherin game. It's a hex-based strategy. I've never played a true hex-based strategy before, so this will be a new learning experience for me. Unfortunately, I've been told this game is extremely difficult. The mechanics can be very hard to learn. It's very unforgiving for any sort of mistakes that you make in your rolls, or if you overexpand your resources, you can actually lose the game, especially on the hardest difficulty, which is very hard, and that's of course what we're going to be playing here. The manual for this game is completely worthless, so I had to do some online reading, and I also played through the tutorial, which is really the first chapter of the game. I've been told it has a good story. It's fairly accurate to the lore. You really do feel like you're under siege from overwhelming forces, which is how it should be when you're fighting the orcs. As mentioned, you're playing the Imperium of Man. That's the regular army for the Imperial Guard. Is what you're actually playing as, and they're like the regular army for mankind. They protect the planets. They also act as sometimes as a planetary defense force. And in this case, you're going to be on planet Armageddon, and the orcs are coming to take it over. What the orcs are is they're these green monsters, as you can see. They're commonly called the Greenskins. Their only focus in life is war. So the reason they do this is it increases their social standing, because as they fight, they get bigger, they get stronger, and that's really the most important thing for an orc, is whoever's the biggest, strongest, and potentially the smartest are the one that's going to be leading their clans. If there's no other race for them to fight, they'll start fighting amongst themselves. It's just part of their nature. Later on in the game, I'm told we get to play as the Space Marines, and I'm unsure if there's any other races that are playable in this game. I'll give a better overview and my thoughts of the game after I've beaten it. Like I said, I have not played this game. I have not played the DLC games, so I don't have a good understanding of it. I just went through the basic tutorial. So as we go through it, we'll get to experience it together. I will try to include all the dialogue as well, so I'll choose the options that have the most dialogue options that it'll go through. It is voiced, which is nice. However, if that's something that's not interesting to you, you just have to fast forward through it. But I want to give those who want the full experience the opportunity to do so. And if you decide you like this game, please purchase it, because it'll encourage more Warhammer 40,000 games to be made. And we'll see how this goes. And we'll go here, the tutorial. A huge space hulk appears in the Armageddon system. It is believed to be uninhabited, but Commissar Yarrick is alarmed by its presence and initiates training sessions for the Steel Legion units to ensure they are ready for an emergency. Again, very hard. We're going to keep the undo button clicked because this game is so unforgiving. You can actually lose missions by misclicking, and the Fog of War will be enabled, so we won't be able to see everything, so it increases the challenge here. So let's get started. And we don't need a name, we'll just be Commander.
Congratulations on your promotion, Commander. The Steel Legion needs more officers like yourself, especially as recruitment stations are becoming scarcer due to these cutbacks. In any case, you have been assigned north to Hive Deathmire and Armageddon Prime.
Hive Deathmire? I thought all junior officers were being deployed to Hive Infernus for ranging exercises into the Palladus Mountains.
You will soon realize ours is not to question why, Commander, especially a lower-ranking Juve officer. You and your freshly mustered battalion have been requisitioned by Sebastian Yarrick from the 4th Regiment up in Deathmire, if you must know.
Sebastian who?
Sebastian Yarrick is an aging commissar, well regarded off-world if the rumors at the spaceports are to be believed. Apparently, he and von Straub do not get on, but the governor allows the old paranoid commissar the odd request to keep him from interfering in other matters. And this space hulk that's appeared in system has him even more agitated and paranoid than normal. They say he's as tough as a Catachan devil, so don't mess him around.
Greetings, Commander. I'll keep this short as I'm not the chatty type. You need to show me what you can do. I dislike weak leadership. It gets soldiers killed, and I consider that a waste. This thing, this space hulk inbound. Von Straub's fawning circle of advisors would have us believe it is uninhabited space junk, but I'm not so sure. There are many warnings of dark times ahead. The statue of the Emperor in Hell's Reach even weeps tears of blood. I need you and your battalion battle ready. I'll leave you with Drill Sergeant Goyle. Technically you outrank him, of course, but he speaks as if my words were his. Don't disappoint me.
In this exercise, you'll be using non-lethal ammunition against the Never Nearly Mustered Battalion, also led by a junior officer. According to my reports, you may know each other from your Schola Progenia days. Commander Venbar Jackson? In any case, don't let Schola ties affect your performance. Remember, you are under the Commissar's scrutiny.
Okay, so let's get started here. So it's just telling you about the tactical map up here in the right upper hand corner. We're the green units, they're the orange units. You can scroll the map by clicking on it. Giving orders, you just left click on the selected unit. So we have 2 sentinels here, 2 basic infantries, and a rocket launcher unit. Sentinels have anti-light vehicle weapons. These are just good against infantry. These are obviously an anti-vehicle. If you look, that 1 to 3, 1 is the minimum range, 3 is the maximum range. They get 1 shot per unit. There's 20 units in here. There's no cover bonus. This button here, yes, I know. Just saying, if there's a red circle around there, they're able to attack. So we'll move them down here. Attack here. Move our sentinel over here. Attack these guys from range. Attack these guys from range. And we'll move him up. So to capture a hex, you just move your guys on there. You can keep moving them up since this is a tutorial mission. They really take it easy on you, and the guys don't really attack you. However, they will counter-attack you if you get in their range, because that's just a basic mechanic of the game. So you need to be careful about that. They say they're non-lethal rounds, but any losses you have will in fact cause your guys to be damaged when you start the actual campaign. Because once you get through the tutorial, which is truly Chapter 1 as mentioned earlier, you start the what they consider Chapter 1, which is actually Chapter 2, and any losses you have here are going to be carried through. And as discussed, as unforgiving as this game is, that can potentially hurt you in the long run, because you need experienced units. And every time a unit dies and you have to recruit more, they take experience out of the whole unit, so it becomes actually weaker. So, like I said, very unforgiving. Also, one thing that's pretty obnoxious about this game is how morale works. It's probably one of the most important things. If you click here, it'll tell you, so if your unit's between 90 and 100, they get a bonus. If it's between 60 and 90, they don't get a bonus. It's just pretty much neutral. And if it's below 60, they suffer penalties. The problem is just attacking a unit decreases the morale of your units, which I think is pretty stupid. I feel like unless you're suffering losses, it shouldn't be affecting your morale. If anything, it might even increase it a little bit because you're not suffering losses and killing the enemy, and that is one thing that increases morale in wartime. So it seems strange to me that by just sitting back plucking off these guys, it's actually making them weaker and less effective. I guess on the flip side, that might show that they're just using up their equipment, but it still just seems like an obnoxious mechanic to me. Alright. Well, let's save it here before the mission ends. And as you can see, I tried to record earlier, but then it got corrupted, so let's go from here. I will pause the recording and we'll continue on the game. Thanks for watching.